Okay, let's tackle sentences 16 through 20. We may need to split this up into two videos as they are a little bit longer, but let's see what we can do. So in sentence 16, I is a pronoun functioning as the subject. What did I do? I realized. Realized is our verb. What type of verb is it? It would be an action verb. So the next question is, what did I realize? I realized that I forgot my phone at school after I had already driven home. All of that is answering the question, when did I or what did I realize? So what's happening here, and this is complex, but you have two dependent clauses. What did I realize? That I forgot my phone at home. When did you forget your phone at home? Or when did you realize it? Sorry, after I had already driven home. So you need to analyze those two groups of words as two dependent clauses. So let's take a look at the first dependent clause. That is your subordinating conjunction. I is the pronoun functioning as the subject of the dependent clause, right? So as a dependent clause, it's going to have a subject and a verb. It's just not going to stand alone by itself, right? So I is the pronoun functioning as the subject. What did I do? Forgot. That's my action verb. What did I forget? Forgot my phone. So phone is the direct object of the verb forgot. So it's a noun functioning as the direct object. My is the adjective or a possessive pronoun. At school is a prepositional phrase where at is the preposition and school is the noun functioning as the object of the preposition. So that clause is the direct object as one unit. This is where you got to see that whole group of words as one performing one grammatical job. And that one grammatical job is to be the direct object of the verb realized. I realized what? That I forgot my phone at school. Now within that clause, there's all these other little components that are performing various jobs within the clause. Same thing is true for this second clause, after I had already driven home, right? That is modifying when you did the action of realizing. So as a unit, it's doing one job. It's describing when I realized. But within that unit, there's all these individual parts that are performing jobs within that unit. So let's take a look. Again, you have your subordinating conjunction after, your pronoun I functioning as the subject of the dependent clause. Had is a helping verb here, helping the main verb driven. Had driven. That's the verb there. Driven is the action verb. Already is an adverb describing when you had driven. And home is also an adverb describing where you have driven. Had driven where? Home. Now I'm just second guessing myself, which is very possible too. Where, yeah, I'm going to stick with adverb there. That one's a little tricky, but modifying where we've driven. My thought process was that it could be a direct object because it's where we've driven. It's a place that we've driven to. I had already driven home. But I'm going to stick with adverb as my final answer, recognizing that I'm not 100% sure on that one. Maybe Mrs. Schickman can help me out. So a lot of things going on in sentence 16 there. If you have questions about it, certainly reach out to your teacher. Let's move on to 17. The April snow. There's our complete subject. In this case, the as an article is describing which snow, and April is actually describing snow as well. It's not the March snow, it's the April snow. Quickly melted. So our verb there is melted, and that is an action. The snow is actually doing that. So that's an action verb. Quickly is an adverb describing how fast it's melting. And then the rest of the sentence, as the sun peeked through the clouds, is a clause. We know that it is a clause because it has a subject, sun, has a verb, peeked, which automatically makes it a clause. We know that it's dependent because of this subordinating conjunction. Peeked is our action verb. And then Through the clouds, just simply a prepositional phrase where preposition is through and clouds is the object of the preposition, is a noun functioning as the object of the preposition. And the as an article will always be an adjective. In sentence 18, the excited student, let's just move this up, jumped for joy after receiving his perfect test. The excited student is our subject, so student is the noun functioning as the subject. Excited and the are both describing the student, which makes them adjectives. The verb is jumped. What type of verb is it? It's an action verb. All right. In this case, it does not require a direct object because you don't find yourself asking jumped who or what. For joy is a prepositional phrase. For is the preposition. Joy is the noun functioning as the object of the preposition. After receiving his perfect test. In this case, after is another preposition. Receiving is, this is a tricky one. Don't get too confused by this. It's actually a gerund phrase because you have a verb that's acting like a noun because it's the object of the preposition after. And then his receiving what? Receiving test. So test is a noun functioning as the object of this, the direct object of this gerund. Receiving, his, perfect are both adjectives describing the noun test. We haven't talked about verbal phrases yet, and so if this gerund phrase is confusing to you, you're not alone. But the bottom line is it's not a dependent clause because there's not a subject and a verb in that group of words. So we're going to pause that and we'll take a look at sentences 19 and 20 in a separate video.